Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoటి Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Asmadgurubhyo Namaha. Sudismriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagawad Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishwaro Guru Atmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shri Medha Dakshinamurti Swamine Namaha. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunakto Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhetamastu Mam Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaita Varshinem Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinem Ambatva Manusandhadami Bhagavat Gite Bhavadveshinem Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Maruta Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sankapadakramopanishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samaga Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasam Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantanna Vidusura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Namaste once again, everyone.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste. Sparshan kritva bahirbahyan chakshuschaivantare bhruvoh pranapanau samho kritva nasabhyantaracharinav. So, after completing the main topic of the 5th chapter, which is Jnana Yoga, and after outlining the benefit of Jnana Yoga, the benefits of Jnana Yoga, that is Jnana Phalam, Krishna, instead of ending the 5th chapter, wants us to make a brief introduction to the 6th chapter in the final 3 slokas of the 5th chapter. Somebody is unmuted. I request them to mute, please. Please got unmuted. No. Okay. Right. So, 3 slokas of the 5th chapter is actually introducing the 6th chapter. No, it is just like the trailer, of films, which will highlight some important aspects of the film so that the viewers are motivated to watch the film. Like that, Krishna is now introducing the 6th chapter. So, briefly, very briefly only, he introduces the 6th chapter, the topic of which is meditation. In 3 verses, verse 27, 28, and 29, he talks about meditation and its results in a very, very, I would call it, in a nutshell form. And the introduction of the topic of meditation at this juncture is very significant because even though the students have already been taught the sum and substance of Jnana Yoga, at present, knowledge is present only at a superficial level. While on the one hand, many students may still have many doubts, and on the other hand, the knowledge in the present superficial form will not at all be helpful for conducting the day-to-day transactions, because the knowledge is staying at the conscious level and has not percolated down to the subconscious level. And that is why we often find that even though you have done Shravanam and even probably Mananam for a length of time, there is no difference in your day-to-day behavior. In your day-to-day transactions with your family members, with your friends and all, there is no difference at all. And Bhagavad Gita is not just to be learned, it is to be lived. The teaching of Bhagavad Gita has to be brought into our day-to-day transactions. Then only the final result of moksha or liberation from samsara can be achieved. Otherwise, it will be good enough if there is some all India Bhagavad Gita examination. You have enough knowledge, you have studied everything, and you can go and write the examination and maybe even get a gold medal or silver medal. But what is the use? Therefore, only when the knowledge gets fully assimilated at the subconscious level, making use of that knowledge will become spontaneous. Become spontaneous in all our day-to-day dealings. Till then, the full benefit of knowledge will not be available to the seeker. And meditation is the tool which will push this knowledge into the depths of my inner personality so that it penetrates deep into the subconscious mind and gets fully assimilated. That's the importance of meditation. And here, Krishna briefly talks about the initial steps to be taken for meditation. So he will briefly talk about the process, mention about, and also briefly mention about the result of meditation, which all he will elaborate in the next chapter. And even here also, as I told you, the trailer does not contain all the details. Even wherever he is starting, before that also there are some important initial steps which are required for meditation. Krishna, as I said, doesn't talk about it here. But as I said, he will elaborate in the 6th chapter. So here, while understanding these 3 shlokas, we have to assume those steps, which are basic steps, For meditation, a person should be seated, preferably on the floor, legs folded, in a comfortable posture. There should be no tension or, strain on any part of the body. Completely loosen your body. Keep your back straight. So body should be relaxed. And the person should focus his mind on the tip of his nostrils and observe the breathing. Observe his or her breathing. This is the first step. When you start meditation, you must, with full awareness, do all these things. You cannot do jogging for half an hour, huffing and puffing, and then come down and start doing meditation. For next half an hour in meditation also, you will be huffing and puffing. So what is the purpose of doing all that? And Krishna in this sloka explains the purpose. Prana panau samau kritva. The purpose is once your body is relaxed, when your focus is on the nostrils, nostrils means you're focusing, concentrating on your breathing. Breathe in and breathe out. You're focusing on your breathing. Whether the breathing is disturbed, is my inhalation longer than exhalation, or vice versa? Observe all that. The idea is to make both inhalation and exhalation uniform, even. Somehow here means even and relaxed. Because, as I said in the last class, the condition of the mind and the condition of breathing are interconnected. If we can make the breathing even and relaxed, the mind also will become relaxed, calm, and receptive. Only in a calm mind, we can regulate the thoughts. Therefore, we can regulate the thoughts in the mind by regulating our breathing. Once the breathing is regulated, mind then gets quietened automatically and is able to focus. So, prana apanau samau kritva. Make your inhalation and exhalation, which are nasabhyantara charina, which are moving in your nostrils. In fact, you will even observe sometimes that one of the nostrils is more active in breathing than the other one. I mean, these are all, when you are observing your breathing, you must observe the breathing pattern in all its aspects. So even there also, breathing in and breathing out, it should be balanced between the two nostrils. Should be made even, rather. These are all very, very important aspects of meditation, which you have to pay attention right in the beginning. Then, after gaining focus at the mind level, Krishna talks about the sense organs. He says, Chakshuhu cha eva antare bhruvoho. What does it mean? It basically means withdraw all your sense organs. And the most powerful sense organ is what? The eye. Because your eyes are always roving, here, there, and capturing every, image which is coming in your front. And then those images are fed into the mind. And the mind will immediately get disturbed because of that. And that is why they say in meditation, when you sit, close your eyes. And here he doesn't say close your eyes. He puts it in a different way. He says, may you bring your eyes or vision between the eyebrows. Means your eyes focus is also, both the eyes are focused at one point, so that they are not roaming around and looking at all the, capturing the images of all the external objects. But we should be careful. When Krishna says, may you bring the eyes or the vision between the eyebrows, we should not do this literally. Many people take it literally and they try to make both eyes look at between the eyebrows, like that squint eye kind of a thing. It will lead to severe headache. Don't do that. So bringing the vision between the eyebrows means not looking outward. The best way is close your eyes. All these details, more details he will give in the next chapter. I am only giving the outline. Therefore, after making the breathing even, withdraw the sense organs, especially the eye, from any kind of external engagement. Then he says, Bhahyan sparshan bahi kritva. Now, right now, your mind is calm. Eyes are closed, so no fresh inputs is coming from the outside world. But there are already inputs in the mind, which will keep, circulating in the mind in the form of thoughts. That's the biggest challenge in meditation. So he says, Bhakyan sparshan bahihi kritva. Remove all the sense objects from your mind. Do not think of any external object. And object here includes people, objects, and situations. It includes your relationships also. Don't sit for meditation and start thinking, oh, what will happen to my wife or children or husband or father or mother. Don't start thinking about all that. Drop all of them. Renounce all of them. Become a mental sannyasi during the period of meditation. Cut off all mental relationship and have relationship only with God alone, on whom you are going to meditate. And this is called pushing or displacing the worldly thoughts by entertaining the meditation thought. So remove all these pluralistic thought and bring the mind to a single thought, the thought of what your alambanam, what you are meditating upon. So these are all initial preparations. More are there. We will talk about it in the next two slokas, and we will take the next two slokas together. Yatendriya mano buddhihi munirmoksha parayanaha vigate cha bhaya krodha yasadha muktaye vasaha. I'll give the anvaya of this sloka, then also meaning. Then we will see this next sloka, and I will explain both the slokas together. The anvaya of this sloka is Yata Indriya Manaha Buddhihi Vigata Ichha Bhaya Krodha Moksha Parayanaha Saha Yaha Munihi Muktaha Eva Sadha. Yata Indriya Manaha Buddhi. Yata means having restrained. Having restrains the sense organs, mind and intellect. Vigata Ichha Bhaya Krodha. Being freed from desire, fear and anger. Moksha Parayanaha, and with the liberation or moksha as the supreme goal. Sahayaha Munihi, the one who meditates, Muktaha Eva Sadha, is liberated forever or becomes liberated forever. Having restrained the sense organs, mind and intellect, freed from desire, fear and anger, and with liberation as the supreme goal, one who meditates becomes liberated forever. Then the next sloka is 29th. Bhoktaram yajna tapasa sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarva bhutana nyatva mam shanti mrichati. The anvaya of this sloka is Nyatva mam bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarva bhutanam shantim richati. Jnatva mam, knowing me. Bhoktaram yanya tapasa, who is the receiver of all rituals and austerities. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, who is the supreme lord of all worlds. Suhridam sarva bhutanam, who is a well-wisher of all beings. Shantim richati, attains peace. The one who knows me as the receiver of the rituals and austerities, who is the supreme lord of all the worlds, and who is a well-wisher of all beings, one attains peace. Now we will see the explanation. Very short, because we are going to see all this in more details in the next chapter. So I don't want to dwell very detailed here. So Yatendriya Mano Buddhi, one should withdraw all sense organs from the external world. Here Indriya means the sense organ, senses. Manaha, mind. Buddhi means intellect. All this you know. These are at yatam, means withdrawn from the external world. That is what you have to check. Because all these are required for the job of meditation at hand. So they should be available. Then Vigata Ichcha Bhaya Krodha, getting rid of all emotional disturbances. Ichcha, attachment or desire. Bhaya, fear. Krodha, anger. As long as they are there, you will sit and only burn within. There won't be any meditation. Therefore, get rid of all these inner emotions from your mind and turn your mind inwards towards only one thing. Munihi moksha parayana bhavet. So Munihi, the meditator, should only focus on moksha as revealed in the Shastras as one's own nature. And if a person remains in the teaching, saha sada muktaha eva bhavati, then this teaching will be assimilated so that throughout his remaining life, this Gita teaching will be available to address all kinds of life situations. And what is the object of meditation? That he says in the next sloka. Bhoktaram yanya tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarva bhutanam mam. You meditate upon me, upon the Lord, who is yanya tapasam bhoktaram, who is the receiver of all pujas, all yajnas, all prayers, who is the object of worship, yajna, tapas, etc., and who is Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, who is the ultimate Lord of the entire creation. Here, whenever Krishna is saying me, we must understand he is referring to his nature, his Swarupa. It is not the Yadava Kula Krishna. It is not the King Krishna or the king of Dwaraka. So here meditation is, from a Vedantic standpoint, we are meditating basically on the Creator, the Brahman, who is the ultimate Lord of the entire creation, Sarvaloka Maheshwara. And where is he situated? Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam Mam, who is located in the Hridayam, Suhridam, Hridayam of all beings. Here we come to know what exactly Krishna is meaning on me. What is located in all human beings? It is Atma or Brahman. So we are talking about Nirguna Brahman here. not Saguna Brahman. Saguna Brahman has got a location like Kailasa or Vaikuntha, etc. As a mumukshu, as a meditator, we should not think that Lord is seated elsewhere. Sarva Bhutanam Suhridam. Shankaracharya in his Bhashyam says Hriddesham. Hriddesham Tishtati is available in the space within the heart. On that Lord, Mam Nyatva, so thinking, meditating upon me, Shantim Richati, you will attain peace of mind. You will attain both Jivan Mukti and Videha Mukti. So this is the message of these slokas in a nutshell. So Krishna has completed the Jnana Phalam topic also of the 5th chapter and completed the introduction to meditation also, which he will elaborate in the next chapter. So with this, we are ending the 5th chapter. I will close the 5th chapter and then we will proceed for summary of the 5th chapter, which I will start today and maybe complete it in the next class. Okay. Om Tat Sate iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Sannyasa Yogo Nama Panchamodhyaya. So thus ends the 5th chapter named Sannyasa Yoga in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, which is the essence of the Upanishads, which deals with knowledge of Brahman as well as Yoga Shastra, which is the preparatory disciplines and which is in the form of a dialogue between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. So that is the end of 5th chapter. So now since this is been completed, I thought that we will start the summary and then continue in the next class and then we will proceed to the 6th chapter. So now let us look at the summary. If you recall, Krishna had given the entire Gita teaching in the 2nd, 3rd and 4th chapters of the Gita. And in this chapter, all that Krishna is doing is summarizing the teaching that he had already given in the previous 3 chapters. Therefore, even though this chapter is a small chapter, it is an important chapter which gives the essence of the entire Gita teaching. And in fact, why Gita? Entire Vedic teaching itself. And this chapter can be broadly classified into 4 portions or 4 sections. The first part dealing with 2 types of lifestyles. Sanskrit, we call it Nishtadvayam. And the next topic that we find is Sadhanadvayam. 2 types of spiritual disciplines, which every seeker has to necessarily go through. The third topic is the benefit following these 2 sadhanas, which is sadhana phalam. And the 4th and final topic is introduction to meditation as a preparation or a foundation or a trailer for the next chapter. So these are the 4 main topics of the 5th chapter. Now we will briefly see each one of these 4 topics. So the first one is Nishtadvayam, 2 types of lifestyles. Namely, Grihastha Ashrama, the life of a householder, and Sannyasa Ashrama, life of a renunciate sannyasi or a monk. In one ashrama, a person possesses everything and is part of the society. And in the other one, the person does not possess anything and he is not part of the society. So Grihastha Ashrama is called Pravritti Marga. Sannyasa Ashrama is called Nivritti Marga. One involves an active lifestyle, the other involves a withdrawn, secluded lifestyle. And Krishna is emphasizing only these two ashramas because the other two ashramas only preparation for these two ashramas. Brahmacharya ashrama is preparation for Grihastha ashrama, and Vanaprastha ashrama is the preparation for Sannyasa ashrama. Therefore, we do not deal with Brahmacharya and Vanaprastha. We focus only on Grihastha and Sannyasa ashrama. And these two ashramas alone, Krishna calls two types of nishtha. He talked about this in the 3rd chapter also. Lokesmin vividha nishtha pura prokta maya naga. So these two forms of lifestyle are given out in the Vedas themselves. And in this, as we saw in the 2nd chapter, also 3rd chapter, it appears that Arjuna is confused regarding sannyasa ashrama. And Arjuna's main confusion seems to be whether sannyasa ashrama is compulsory for liberation. For moksha, is sannyasa ashrama compulsory? Do I have to become a sannyasi, study the scriptures, and then attain moksha? Excuse me. So that appears to be the confusion in Arjuna's mind. Therefore, he raises a question in the beginning of the chapter itself. And Krishna clarifies Arjuna's confusion. Now, what is Krishna's answer? Krishna says sannyasa ashrama is not compulsory for liberation. As far as the ashrama is concerned, as far as the lifestyle is concerned, a person can choose any of these two nishtas, any of these two lifestyles. Sankhya yoga upritak bhala hai, pravadanti na pandita hai, ekam apyasti tat samyak, ubhayor vindate phalam. A person can take to any one of the ashramas and attain liberation. Therefore, there is a choice with regard to the ashramas. After brahmacharya ashrama, after a lifestyle of study, a person has a choice to decide whether I want to become a monk and straight away take sannyasa, or whether I want to get married and live a spiritual life. And as far as advantages and disadvantages are concerned, as we have discussed before, both ashramas, they have got advantages and disadvantages. Pluses and minuses are there in both the ashramas. In Grihastha ashrama, the advantage is money, people are there, relationship is there, there is an emotional support, which will give some sense of, at least some sense of security. Whether it will really give or not is debatable. But one does feel that it gives a sense of security because people are there, possessions are there. Which security a sannyasi does not have. Because he cannot have possession and he cannot have relationship also. He has actually renounced everything. And that's why Puja Swamiji says, in his own inimitable style, a sannyasi shaves his head so that you cannot catch him by the hair. He is uncatchable. That's the advantage. Because in other ashramas, that tuft is there. You're supposed to have a tuft, what in Tamil is called a kudumi. And if somebody is trying to run away, you can catch hold of him by that. Brahmacharya, Grihastha ashrama, etc., they all have tuft. But you cannot hold. So you can catch a brahmachari or a Grihastha with the tuft. He can't run away, but you cannot hold a sannyasi similarly. So Grihastha ashrama security is there, sannyasa ashrama security is not there. But the disadvantage in Grihastha is because there are possessions and relationships, there is also responsibility, which can be a very big burden. Children are not yet married, not yet settled. Because they are not settled, my mind is unsettled. So responsibility is the biggest minus point of Grihastha, which responsibility the sannyasi does not have at all. Therefore, in one ashrama, security is plus point, responsibility is minus point. In the other ashrama, lack of security is the minus point and absence of responsibility is the plus point. So how can we tell which ashrama is better? It is a situation of the grass is greener on the other side. A grihastha will feel sannyasa ashrama is better. A sannyasi will feel, oh, I should have remained in the grihastha ashrama itself. Therefore, both ashramas have got plus and minus point, and there is a choice. And once we have to choose, there is a conflict. Wherever choice is involved, conflict comes because generally our tendency is we do not want to choose. Choosing involves taking responsibility. And that's why quite often, whenever we want to decide on something, we will ask the opinion of others to make our choices. Similarly, Arjuna also wonders which ashrama is better for him. And therefore, Krishna gives an advice to Arjuna and Arjuna type of people, which is Grihastha is better for majority people. Majority of the people, Grihastha is better. Tayostu karma sannyasa karma yoga visishyate. And he says, because sannysastu mahabaho dukkhamaptumayogataha. Very important. A person can face even psychological problems if human relationship is not there. That's what he says. Sannyasa tu dukkhamaptum ayogataha. The one who is not fit for sannyasa, he will also have lot of suffering in sannyasa ashram. Because loneliness, not having anybody to interact with, not having any possessions, because a sannyasi cannot even plan his next meal. He has to live on bhiksha. I am talking about a traditional sannyasi, not many sannyasis of today. I have seen a lot of sannyasis, they go to restaurants and have their meal and all that. But traditionally, as per Shastra, sannyasis are not. They have given up everything. They cannot even have one paisa or even 1 pence in their pocket. No relationships. Because human relationship plays a very important role in maintaining mental sanity. And when a person does not have such a relationship, a person can be severely depressed. And that is where, in our culture, marriage is given a very, very high, it's kept on a very high pedestal. Getting married and is for the purpose of this companionship, partnership, partner to live the entire balance of the life till death. It is not a contract. Marriages in our religion, in our culture is not a contract. Once you are committed for life. You learn to adjust, you learn to care for the other person. Therefore, this human relationship, when you have kids and all that, the relationship grows. It gives you a sort of a psychological, emotional support. And that is why, one of the severest punishments given to convicts is solitary confinement. No contact with any other human beings. Absence of human relationships can be a psychological torture. If one does not know how to handle the mind, and it can happen, if he does not know how to handle the mind, sannyasa ashrama could be a torture. And therefore, Krishna says both ashramas are okay, but for majority of the people, grihastha ashrama is better. But that does not mean that all people should take to grihastha ashrama. Those who are prepared and ready, those who have gained mastery over their mind, those who have got enough sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, they can take to sannyasa ashrama, even though it is not necessary. But one has to exercise a choice. So this is the topic from verse number 1 to verse number 6. Nishtadvayam, ashramadvayam, where there is a choice. And then the next topic is sadhanadvayam. Two types of spiritual discipline. Karma yoga sadhana and jnana yoga sadhana. And Krishna wants to emphasize that as far as the sadhanas are concerned, there is no choice at all. And this is very, very important to remember. Karma yoga and jnana yoga are not given as optional means of liberation. And this I am emphasizing because there is a very big misconception prevalent all over. There are various paths to liberation. Many people have a misconceived understanding that a person can take to karma yoga independently. Another person can take to jnana yoga. Another person can take to bhakti yoga. And the fourth person can take to raja yoga for liberation. Now people are adding to that list Kundalini yoga, Nada yoga, liberation through music, this method, that method. They're talking about all sorts of things. Individually, a person can have all those views. But you should remember, Veda does not support these views at all. And for us, the only means of valid knowledge, underline the word valid, is the Veda. And because Veda does not support, Bhagavad Gita also does not support this view. So Gita says there is no choice with regard to sadhana. What is the conclusion then? Everybody requires karma yoga. Everybody requires jnana yoga also. Because what one contributes, the other does not contribute. What one can give, the other cannot give. Now the next question is, if karma yoga, jnana yoga are required, should they be followed simultaneously or one after the other? According to Krishna, they should be gradual, one after the other. And there is a gradation. In Sanskrit, we call it krama samuchaya. Krama samuchaya means they should be combined one after the other, chronologically, one after the other. In kramam, they should come. And if they should come one after the other, what should be the order? Can I start with jnana yoga and end with karma yoga? The answer is no. Karma yoga is the first stage. Jnana yoga is the next and final stage. Because karma yoga gives preparation for jnana yoga and jnana yoga gives liberation. This is the Vaidika Marga. Follow Karma Yoga, prepare yourself for Jnana Yoga, follow Jnana Yoga, and then be liberated. Of course, this does not mean that a Karma Yogi should not study scriptures at all. We cannot say that a Karma Yogi should not attend Gita, Upanishad classes, etc. That is not the idea. The idea is, in the first stage of the spiritual journey, Karma Yoga has predominance. Jnana Yoga, the study of scriptures, is subdued, secondary. Whereas in the later stage, when Karma Yoga has delivered its fruits in the form of Chitta Shuddhi, Jnana Yoga becomes dominant. So the difference is only dominance difference, but it is not a watertight compartment. Even after coming to Jnana Yoga, one should continue the Karma Yoga sadhanas, because the mind which has once become pure can become impure also. One needs to watch that mind and maintain the purity which has been attained. So in the Jnana Yoga stage, Jnana Yoga knowledge, Jnana becomes dominant, and Karma Yoga sadhanas become subdued. And therefore, Krishna summarizes Karma Yoga sadhanas from verse 7 to verse number 12. And since Krishna has dealt with this topic elaborately in the 3rd chapter, in this chapter, Krishna just summarizes the teaching in these verses. In the 3rd chapter, we saw the essence of Karma Yoga. Proper action plus proper attitude is Karma Yoga. What do we mean by proper action? Proper action means actions which are prescribed in the scriptures, which are in accordance with dharmic principles. Dharmic actions are called proper actions. And we grade the actions based on their spiritual progress that they can give. Actions are graded based on their capacity to give the spiritual progress. Selfless actions come under the top grade, where the beneficiaries are more, Nishkama Karmani, otherwise called Sattvika Karmani or Uttama Karmani, are at the top level, which will contribute to the maximum purity and spiritual progress. The next grade is Sakama Karmani or Rajasa Karmani, which are selfish actions where the beneficiaries are minimum. The maximum beneficiaries will be me and my family, not more than that. Such actions are called Rajasa Karmani or Sakama Karmani or Madhyama Karmani. They will produce limited spiritual progress. The 3rd grade actions are called Tamasa Karmani or Nishiddha Karmani. Actions which harm others for my personal benefit. Society is injured or harmed by my action. Such karmas are called Adhama Karmani. Not only Adhama Karmani do not give spiritual progress, in fact, they pull a person down spiritually. Therefore, a Karma Yogi should give maximum importance to Sattvika Karmani. Next is Rajasa Karmani. And he should completely avoid Tamasa Karmas. That should be the proportion. Sattvika maximum, Rajas middle, Tamas should be minimum or 0. This is called proper action. And the second part of Karma Yoga is what? Proper attitude, which I do, in which I do all actions as a worship to the Lord. He said in the 10th sloka, Brahmanya dhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yaha dipyate na sapapena padma patramimambhasa. a very important sloka in this chapter, often quoted by Adi Shankara in his Bhashyams. That is, dedicate all actions to the Lord, whether it is Sattvika karma, whether it is Rajasa karma, or even Tamasa karma. Of course, Tamasa karma should be avoided, but even if it is unavoidable, do it as a dedication to the Lord. And that's why in India, even thieves, they offer prayers before they set off for their nocturnal errands. They are all devotees. Thieves are, burglars are devotees of God. But their prayer will be different, unlike us. Their prayer will be, hey Bhagavan, please bless me. I should steal well today. I should not get caught by the police. And for that, I will give you a percentage of whatever I am able to get. And I will put it in your hundial. Hundial means that box, collection box, which we find it in the temples. Now you know how that collection box gets filled up very fast in temples like Tirupati. I don't mean to say that when you go, you should not contribute. But many people, they come and put loads of cash in that. From where they get the cash, it's anybody's guess. Anyway, I don't know, it's going to stray away. So Tamasa karma is that kind of karma. But even when that is done, when they do Tamasa karmas, what will happen over a period of time, when they do it as a offering to the God with a Ishwararpada bhava, their mind will gradually change, because association with the Lord can transform the mind. And that's why even Shankaracharya tells in his commentary on the 18th chapter that even Nishiddha karmas, if you are forced to do it as an offering to the God, to the Lord. In fact, Bhagawad will create a situation so that you will not have to do Nishiddha karmas later. Therefore, proper attitude is dedication of all your action to the Lord. In the 9th chapter, Krishna will say, we will see that, Yat karoshi yadashnasi, yat juhoshi dadhasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva madharpanam. Everything that you do, what you eat, what you pray, everything, yat dadasi, whatever you give, tat kurushva madharpanam. Do it as an offering to me. That's why we say at the end of every prayer and end of every puja, Kayena vacha manasa indriyerva buddhyatmanavat prakrite swabhavat karomi yadyat sagalam parasmai Sriman Narayanayedi samarpayami. The samarpanam we do. Everything I do with all my body parts, I am handing over to you. So next important thing is, whatever be the consequence of the karma, whatever be the karma phalam, accept it as prasada of the Lord, the will of the Lord. Gracefully accept without resistance, because every experience that we have in life is the result of our own action. You can't blame anybody else for the result of our action. The result of today's action depends upon our previous actions. This is the most important point we should remember. Every experience in my life is the result of my own actions in the past. And suppose we have got intense suffering, and when we reflect on our past life in this Janma, we find that we have not done any intense Papa Karma. And that is where we get a doubt. I have not done very significant papa karmas, some small papa karmas I might have done, then why should I suffer from such a disease or such a tragedy? Is a very, very often asked question. We should remember that our experiences are not only the result of actions of the present Janma in this birth, but we also reap the results of our Purva Janma Karmani, of which we have no knowledge. We do not know what all papams we have done in the Purva Janma. But Bhagavan knows. He has got a master computer where he has recorded everything, every action, even a thought is recorded. Computer has got a super efficient program which has no bugs and which cannot be hacked also. So Bhagavan can never fail. So whatever I get, I deserve. That should be our understanding. I am now aware that what I am going through is the result of my own actions. So my prayer to the Lord is, oh Lord, give me the strength to go through this and learn valid lessons from this experience. And this attitude is called Padma Patra Iva Ambasa attitude. That is what he says, the sloka. Thus, dedication with regard to karmas, prasada buddhi or acceptance with regard to karma phala is the proper attitude. Thus, proper action and proper attitude will make a person a karma yogi. And what will happen as a result of karma yoga? The first result is mind becomes spiritually oriented. Materialistic tendencies will weaken. Spiritual tendencies will be strengthened. Interest in Gita teaching will increase. Interest in Shastra will increase. Instead of a casual approach, it will become a wholehearted and sincere approach. And therefore, everyone has to go through this purifying action. Even a sannyasi has to go through a purifying action. Even though the purifying actions of a sannyasi will be different from the purifying actions of a householder or a grihastha. The actions will differ, but the aim will remain the same. The mind should become purer and purer and purer. And this is the topic from verse number 7 to 12. And Krishna traces the stages of this progress also. Then, yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriya sarva bhutatma bhutatma kurvannapi na lipyate. And Krishna talks about the stage of progress also, and we saw the details before. So having talked about Karma Yoga Sadhana, Krishna talks about Jnana Yoga Sadhana, which is the next stage of sadhana, which is given from verse number 13 to 21, which is also compulsory for all. There is no way of getting out of Jnana Yoga if you want moksha. But then, of course, there are people who say Jnana Yoga is a dry path and therefore we should go for a wet path for liberation. People come up with some fantastic ideas. What is a wet path? They say wet path is Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is wet path because you become highly emotional, you shed tears. Copious tears you show in front of the Lord. Oh, Bhagavan, totally emotionally charged. So that is the wet path for liberation. That will not lead to liberation. It may probably lead to dehydration because of the water has gone out of the body because of the tears. There are so many misconceptions regarding moksha and teaching and all. So there is no question of avoiding Jnana Yoga by saying it's a dry path. And there is no question of Jnana Yoga being a dry path, etc. We will discuss all these things elaborately from the 7th chapter onwards. We will also discuss what Bhakti Yoga is. So, whether one is a Grihastha or one is a Sannyasi, for everybody, Jnana Yoga is required. More we will see in the next chapter. What is Jnana Yoga and all that. Whatever we have learned, we will see the summary of that. Okay, next week. And in case I am able to finish the summary next week, then we will start the 6th chapter also next week. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Dhanyavadaha. Thank you all very much.
धन्यवाद गुरुजी. हरि ओम.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you,
Hari
Guruji.
Om.
Hari Om. Hari
Thank you,
Om.
Guruji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you.
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram.
Thank you, Guruji. Namaskaram.
Namaskaram. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji. Namaskar.
Namaste. Namaste.
Oh, welcome. You too.
Broken. Voice is broken.
Very.
What happened? Two people were speaking at the same time?
Guruji, again, this is Lata. Namaste once again. I was not present for the last class, but I was listening to the recording of the last class. That towards the end, the explanation about why dhyana is required, it threw so much light and cleared a lot of doubts in my mind, because I was, until now, Krishna had not spoken about dhyana at all. And I just wanted to share my own personal experience about this thing that I knew I was going to face a very challenging situation in my life around 2004, 2005. But then I never really much worried about it. I said, okay, I have faith in God. I'll be able to face it. I'll be able to deal with it whatever way I can. I'll be able to deal with it in a without getting stressed about it, all kinds of things. But then no, no, nothing. All the knowledge that spiritual knowledge that I had either heard or read or listened to, nothing came to hand at that time, because all that was just locked in the intellectual compartment, and nothing, as you have explained, it had not percolated into the deeper layers to be able to put it into a practice. But then I got the opportunity of attending the course of Ravi Shankar Guruji about the pranayam, Sudarshan Kriya. Sudarshan Kriya is a type of pranayam, just like so many other pranayams, and it's the preparation for meditation. So it's not just, okay, I did the course and then from the next day it started making any sense. No, as you had to practice it for a certain number of days continuously without break. And then without any effort, whatever was there already in the intellect started making sense. And it started translating into the practical a practical everyday life. And that is what and that's made a great difference in our interpersonal relationship between me and my husband also. We both did the course. We both initially I was resisting to do the course. No, I always wanted to do the course, but I had never had the opportunity when I was in India. But after coming to UK, I did, and both of us took the course and practiced it. Only after we practiced it for a length of time, then our relationship, our understanding with each other, the support to each other started making a big difference. And but as you again mentioned, it has to be consistent. For any reason, I have there's a break in the pranayama and meditation for a long time. Then I go back to being the bad self that I am, the bad Lata that I was, where the mind is works like a devil and all kinds of things. And so it is. That is. I just want to share that experience, Guruji. Thank you so much for explaining about the meditation and.
The example of this coffee and sugar, which Swami Paramatma gave, is which I shared in the last class, is a very, very beautiful example.
Absolutely, Guruji. Yeah.
So we have to, because the whole purpose is that only, I mean, Gita doesn't, okay, third, fourth, fifth chapter, not over, rather, up to 18th chapter we will go. And Krishna will give lot of tips like this. So how to actually, live the Gita, live the life with the Gita teaching. That
Yes.
that is the ultimate moksha, rather. That is what is moksha is all about. So we have to go through that, and it is next chapter we will discuss a lot about this meditation and all. Purpose we must keep in mind. What is the purpose of meditation? We must keep in mind. That is to, whatever knowledge we have gained, it has to be shoved into the subconscious level.
Yes, Guruji.
I give you a very small example. When I call you Lata, do you actually respond spontaneously?
I do, Guruji.
Right? Even when you are sleeping, somebody calls Lata, then even then you will at least moan. You will acknowledge. Right?
Yeah.
How that has happened? When you are born, you are not Lata. Isn't it?
Yes.
I've been calling you Lata, 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 and in the subconscious mind, the name Lata has got ingrained completely. So now you're able to, respond spontaneously. So similarly, I am the Atma, Aham Brahmasmi has to go down and get ingrained in the subconscious. Then whatever that Brahman represents, Nitya Buddha Shuddha Atma, that will spontaneously come out whenever, in whatever situation we face in life. That is the whole purpose. So that's why Nididhyasanam is a very, very important aspect of this entire teaching.
Yes.
Very important. Okay, good. Thanks for sharing that experience. I mean, others who are still there also would have learned that this all works, rather. That is the
Yes, it does. Definitely it works. It definitely it
theory
works.
and paper, it works. Good.
Thank you, Guruji.
Hello.
Namaste.
Namaste. Any other question? Okay, then I think we can close the session and continue next week. Hari Om. Thank you all.
Thank you, Guruji.
Hari Om Guruji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, Guruji. Hari Om.
Thank you.